What's up, guys? If you clicked on this video, I'd imagine either you want to open up your own gym or maybe you're just interested in how this business model works. But this video is going to be about things I wish I would have known before I opened up this gym, and just some ins and outs that you should know before investing into a business like this. This is my facility right here. I am 26 years old. I've managed to pretty much get the business to a point to where I'm not training clients. I'm not doing any sales. I pretty much don't have to do anything other than just oversee the operation. That is my current job. I'm a full-time CEO. So the only thing I do is I make sure that the systems and processes that we put in here are actually happening at the level they're supposed to be at. But I'm gonna go ahead and step outside and kind of explain this because we are at a session right now. But yeah, man, just literally off the top of my head, guys, the first thing that I wish somebody would have told me was there's a massive difference between an open gym model and a personal training business model. Literally two different worlds. I guess the best way I can put it is literally if you do an open gym business model, like that's where people come in and they use the facility, they scan in and they just work out by themselves. That is literally football, okay? And then you have the other business model, which is my business model, where you sign up clients and you have trainers who work for you, and you get as many clients as you can. You put them on a membership, right? People can't just come in and use the gym when they want. That's what I do. That is really like basketball. Two different games, and people don't understand. When you look at a gym, right, like this right here, we're located in Fullerton. People probably think, well, people just go work out there, and it couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that you have to pick. You cannot do both open gym or you're gonna do a personal training business model. But there's two different games that you have to choose from. But anyways, I'm gonna go inside my office and I'm gonna set up some lighting so you guys can get some decent footage. This is off my phone. Like I said, just thought I wanted to pick up my camera and just share some of the things I've learned. I'm going on year 4 and since I had the grand opening here. I had the grand opening in January 2022. So let's go into my office and let's dive into the ins and outs and the details and the scars and the wins and losses that I've taken on so far as a gym owner. It is now 2025, so I've got some gems I think it can help you. So let's go to my office real quick. All right, guys, so I'm now in my office. I gotta point out the Alex Hormozi poster. Dude, this is literally like the legend right here. Sorry, I get a little thrown off, but yeah, learned a lot of my game from Alex Hormozi, actually, especially, just entrepreneurship in general. He would teach you a lot. But let me set up this phone and let's dive into this. Actually, let me set up the light. Sorry about the quality, guys, but let me see. Man, is that better? Yep, that is better. Okay, so make sure this is centered. All right, guys, so sorry, it's not like, level or whatever. I typically get down with the content, stuff like that. I can use a camera and all that, but honestly, I just want to grab my phone and keep it simple. So one of the first things that I've realized in my gym owner, experience is there's like a couple of different ways. Well, I'm talking about my business model, the personal training studio model, where you hire trainers, they work for you on the W-2, like they're actually your employees, they're not independent. And you just try to fill the gym with as many clients as you can. What I've realized, I'm going on year 4 in this business model, is that there's kind of two different ways you can play this. And both ways work, but they're just different journeys, they're different routes. The first one that I want to talk about is what I was doing when I first got here. And this is actually probably the more popular one. It's what most gyms do. And I think most gyms do it because the other way of running the business is actually more difficult. So I don't think most gym owners actually understand how to do the other version, or they have difficulty like understanding how that works. And the other reason why I think people do run it like this is because not so many people want to, or can figure out retention and attrition, which means when people leave your program, right? That is a very popular issue in this niche is churn, attrition, right? So what most gyms will do when they first open up their gym is they'll just sign up anybody they can, right? They'll sign up as many people as they can. Anybody with a heartbeat and a debit card, they will pretty much accept them into their gym, right? You can say program, but it's just in the gym. And they'll let them train. And what ends up happening is you have a bunch of different types of people. You don't really have a brand. You don't really have a certain avatar. Like, everyone is just a little bit different. And you might even be, cutting deals with certain clients and stuff like that. And that's fine, but this is a very sales-focused business model, right? You pretty much accept anyone. You get as much front-end cash as you can from the client when you consult them. And what ends up happening is with this business model, what I ran into was, because I'm pretty good at sales myself, like I like doing sales. It wasn't hard to sit down in front of somebody and sign them up for my gym. But the problem with this business model for me is that we would sign up like 20, 30 people a month, but then have 20 people leaving the following month. And retention is very important for this business to actually work. If you have 30 people who sign up, 20 people leaving, that means your recurring revenue is only gonna be around like 10 members as a net left over. So that means you're left with 10 members by the end of next month if you don't sign up 30 more people again. And like I said, I can see why people do this, because most people, they'll put out an offer, 21-day jumpstart, or they'll run some ads, it's a free 6-week challenge, it's not free, but that whole thing, right? And they just let anybody sign up, like I said. And the people they bring in with these great offers is that they're here for the short term. They're not here for the long game, right? They're not trying to make this like a concrete lifestyle. And I think it really just starts with your messaging. If you want to be focused on getting as many people as you can, take as much money as you can, regardless of the avatar, even though that person that you're talking to is not going to be a good fit with your clients, you're still going to accept them. That's an option. You can do that. But just be ready for the churn on the back end and maybe even some bad reputation, because she's not going to be there for long, right? I say her because we're all women's over here. You don't have to, be all women's, but we niche down. We're just a female training facility. We only accept women. We don't only accept women, but like that's who we go after, right? We haven't had any guys, come in and try to, be like, oh, well, what if I identify as a female? If that does happen, they can come and train, whatever. But it hasn't happened yet. So, but that's not the reason why we niche down. It wasn't anything like weird like that. It was more because our program is based around glute building and, just fat loss, which is most women, right? They want to lose body fat and build their glutes. Anyways, getting a little off topic here, but if your focus is just the sales, you're never going to really be able to build an asset worth having, in my opinion. Like, if you have a business who gets all these new customers every month, but you lose 20 to 15, customers every month as well, that's a very risky business to have, and that's the reality of most gym owners that I know. Most gym owners live that life, and it feels like there's so much uncertainty with their, every month. Every month they're like, fuck, we have to sell 30 people, we have to sign 30 people up. And I was there for like 2-3 years. It wasn't until 2025 where I was like, you know what, guys? We are no longer just gonna be this average attrition churn facility and accept it like most gym owners do. Gym owners would just be like, oh, well, attrition's high. This is a high churn business model. Well, fuck it, this is what it's gonna be. And I put a stop to it in January this year. And I'll never forget, I had a meeting with my director and my GM, and I was like, guys, we're not gonna talk about anything else today but retention and attrition. Why do we have customers leaving and why are they not staying for a year? And it took us like 6 months to figure this problem out. And it took 6 months of trial and error, putting in processes, putting in customer success metrics, right? Find out if clients are actually receiving, good services, but also getting results, right? There's so many moving parts to this business. And this is why I try to tell people, like, if you're opening up a gym because you're passionate about fitness, man, your passion for fitness couldn't be further away from the business you actually have to run for this, industry. It's two different things. It is nothing to do with actual fitness. The gym business is literally like, it is so complex, and I'm gonna try to cover everything I can in this video, or at least like, a surface level. But back to what I was saying, I saw I have somebody walking right now, but what I've realized so far in my journey, I'm on year 4, like I said, is you have to look at retention in the eyes. You have to find out, why are people leaving my gym? And it's a hard question to ask because it's not something, it's easier to ignore and be like, oh, well, they just didn't have, they weren't committed, or they weren't serious. It's so easy to say that. But once you start really asking yourself, like, hey, why are these people not staying at my gym? That's when your business starts to change. That's when your life starts to change. And we started asking ourselves that question, like, seriously though, in January. We became very curious, like, why are people leaving? Why are some clients here for 2 years and why is this other client leaving after 6 weeks? And once you started asking that question, guys, I'll tell you, it made all the difference. So the first big piece of advice that I would give you when it comes to opening up a gym and the personal training studio niche, like I said, have people working for you and you're the one getting the clients, you're responsible for the clients. You need to understand retention. You need to keep retention high and attrition low. That is the number one thing I would be focused on. And I wish somebody would have told me that when I first got started. Having to sign up new clients every month because you have to is a very, there's a lot of scarcity. It's a very scarcity mindset because, it may not happen. And then if it doesn't happen, what? I think it's actually, I'm not gonna say easier, but once you have a business that keeps most of their clients and you don't have to sign that many clients up, it's just way more peaceful. And that's the next step I want to get into is memberships. Most gyms don't sell memberships, they sell programs. And a membership-based gym and a program-based gym are two different things. And let me explain this, it's not what you think. A membership at 24 Hour Fitness or LA Fitness, EOS, is not what I'm talking about. What we do here at P3 in my business is we sell memberships. But what you have to create, I'm not talking about people coming in and scanning and using your gym. The membership that we sell is we pretty much sell a membership for community, personalization, energy, and results. It's like a club. People are paying you to be around this group of people. Now, if you are selling programs, like you're a gym that just does 6-week challenges, 24-week programs, stuff like that, then people are not buying the club. They're buying like a result, which, I think most people actually want the result. Sure, no, duh, right? But if you can start leaning more towards like, I'm gonna build a club of a group of people, of an environment where people wanna be around for good energy and positive reinforcement, that's harder to sell, but it's a lot stickier. Because once somebody does a 6-week challenge or a 24-week challenge, what happens after that? If that was their sole intention, then they're gone once that program is up. And that's where I found myself, I was like, dude, like we're losing, like we had to sign up new clients every month, and it's a very difficult business to run. Now we still do sign up a lot of clients, but we do something that's called a trial now. We do a paid trial. It's not the sexiest offer, but because of the demand we've built through word of mouth, our content system, that's a whole other thing I'm not gonna get into, but our social media presence is really strong. We don't buy followers. We don't do cold DMs. We simply just post. We're very consistent with posting. We understand how to use film. We know how to film content. If you guys go to our Instagram, you'll be able to see like everything we do. But that's a system that we have in place, right? But the demand has been built, and now we can start offering paid trials. And a paid trial is where the customer, we tell the prospect at the point of sale, hey, they come in for a consultation, we tour the gym, we explain, what the program is about or the membership is about. And they're like, hey, so this is a paid trial. This is simply an opportunity for us to find out if you're serious and committed and to show you that we actually deliver on what we promise. And at the end of the trial, we have 4 weeks. By week 3, if that client shows up to most 80% of their sessions and we onboard them correctly, we check in with them, we have a check-in system, we do our progress calls with them. Then by the 3rd week, we meet with them again, and it's called a 21-day checkpoint, which is pretty much another, sale. It's a consultation. And we ask them, like, hey, so it's been 21 days, you have 1 more week left. Like, do you want to sign up as a member and make this like a long-term thing? like it's become part of the club. And that is how we get memberships. That's how we get contract values up to like 4,000, 5,000 a year. You know, we charge about 400 a month for the most part. That's like one of our most popular plans. In 12 months, it's about, I think it's like 5K. And that's the game that I'm playing now, right? But there's so much work that has to come before that. The processes, the systems, the culture, the demand you have to build first. I didn't just get here in 1 year, I'll be honest with you. It took me a while to build this culture up and build up my team. But like I said, I'm not the one training clients anymore. I'm not doing any sales. The only thing I really do here, guys, is I facilitate what needs to happen. And my goal next year is to completely get out of that role and let my team facilitate their own asset. So that's next year though. But like I said, this video is gonna be more focused on things that I wish people would have told me. Another mistake that I feel like I made low key was I bought a gym and I didn't buy a gym. I did not buy this property, but I leased a facility that was too big. Like my facility is pretty big and it doesn't need to be. With this business model, you actually want to go as small as possible, in my opinion. And our gym is the complete opposite. It's huge. We have a whole front side, a back side, and I think we could have got away with like 2,000 square feet. Personally, I think 2,000 to 3,000 square feet is the sweet spot. We're at 5. So like we're paying double the rent, and I could have, you know, probably like 20% an increase in margins, profit margins if I didn't have this size location. But honestly, I don't regret it though, because, you know, at the end of the day, it taught me how to, you know, earn more income. And that's where I'm at. I was forced to learn how to make more money because I didn't get this facility. I didn't have no loans. The only loans I ever got was equipment loans, but those are not capital, right? I didn't get any money, actual money. I just got equipment, some equipment, right? I already bought some on my own, but yeah, so location size matters, guys. I don't think you need a gym that's that big. And also, if you can, I would buy your equipment, not lease it. Because if you can buy your own equipment, there's companies out there like Extreme Train Equipment is a good brand. But don't get caught up in the whole the branded equipment stuff. Like don't try to buy, you know, Panada or Nautilus or, you know, Hammer Strength. Like stay away from those pieces, guys, because the people who carry those machines are playing a different game. Like they're playing the game of product. Like people are gonna compare their machines to other places because the only thing they're offering is equipment, right? The facility. Like open gym access, that's a different game. But if you're in this business model where you're doing personal training, the clients don't care. All they care about is the service and if they're being paid attention to. So that's another mistake that I made, buying equipment that was expensive. I could have literally probably bought all my equipment with no lease, no loan, for like literally $15,000. And that's if you're doing strength training. There's some boot camps out there that literally have nothing but dumbbells and barbells and they fucking kill it, right? But that's a different game as well. But point is, guys, do not blow your money on equipment. Stay away from that whole matrix right there. That is a complete matrix right there. You do not need a nice equipment. You need simple equipment. You can get non-branded equipment. There's non-branded Smith machines. There's non-branded, you know, hip abduction machines, all that stuff. You do not need branded stuff. It's just a waste of money, okay? So, locations. Sorry, guys, my phone died. I had to delete some storage. I didn't die, but I had my phone was full of storage. But anyways, so far, it's gonna be find out or pick the business model. Open gym access or personal training business model where people work for you and you're responsible for the clientele. I don't do open gym access. I literally started this gym though doing open gym access. I tried doing both. Worst idea ever. I didn't know this. Like I said, I wish I had this fucking video I'm watching or making right now to help me. So I'm trying to help you guys out and make that mistake that I've made, okay? And also, I cannot help you with open gym access. That is not my niche. I am in the personal training business. I get the clients, people work for me, and that's how I do my business, okay? So that's the game I'm playing. So you gotta pick the business model you want. That's number one. Number two, location size. Do not go buy a gym that's more than 3,000 square feet, in my opinion. There's no need to do it. Your rent should not be more than like 6,000. 7,000 fucking max, pushing it because it's its perfect location maybe. But honestly, like right now I'm paying 11,000 a month, and it'll go up to like 11,700. My first month of rent here was 9K, but then there's a 3% increase every year. So just be careful. Like I said, you do not need to be spending more than 7,000 a month on rent. I think you should do anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 a month, and anything less is even better. Okay. The third thing is the equipment. Do not get caught up with the equipment, guys. Like, these are things that can literally like fuck up your whole business. This can hold you back drastically. I did not want you guys to have to go through what I went through, because I pretty much, my back was against the wall the last 3 years. But because I've always been good at marketing, and I've never had to run ads or anything like that. Like, and I niched down. I think doing all women is what really separated me from a lot of people. Now that's more popular now. So like, I don't know if you're gonna have the same success that I did, or you definitely gonna have a little more difficulty doing that because it's not as rare. And we're one of like the founders of this niche. Like, we're one of the OGs. We're considered one of the first ones people to do it. So that's why people come to us all the time. Anyways, those are the 3 things that I can say at the top of my head. The 4th thing I would say that I probably made a mistake of doing is I hired too fast. Personally, I think your hires, this is the order I can give you. So there's you, which is the CEO, owner, right? You run all the hats. Then there's, I think the first thing you should hire is somebody to help you collect payments. Help you collect payments, make sure people are getting paid, make sure you're getting paid on time, failed payments, and also you want to completely avoid that conversation with your clients, because money can cause a constraint in the relationship with you and your clients. When you talk to your clients, you want to keep it completely focused on their fitness success, and that is it. Blame it on your man. Anytime it comes to payments, somebody asks, "Oh, I got you." Oh, hey, I have no idea about this. Talk to my manager, even though I know exactly what they're talking about. But because I don't want to take the risk of even bringing up money, I blame it on my manager. Find a manager who can take care of all your payments, failed payments, and all like the awkward stuff, right? That makes it seem transactional. That's why I have that in place. Best hires, and I still have the same manager I hired. She was a client actually. She's still with me, and I love her to death. And she's fucking badass. The second hire is, this is when you can start to look into coaches. Find coaches who are not necessarily established. You want to find coaches who are either aspiring fitness trainers or I don't want to say struggling. Yeah, try to find trainers who are like on the come up, who want to be trainers, young. That way you don't have to pay them too much, right? Because if you find a trainer who's established, he's gonna want like $5,000-6,000 a month. You want to find a trainer who's aspiring and build them up. That way you get all that relationship equity as you build them up, and they feel like they owe you, and that's why they stay with you with the company. And that's not transactional. At the end of the day, my trainers who work for me, dude, they've grown so much, and they have a lot of opportunity, to be completely honest with you. At some point, guys, you have to pay them accordingly, okay? And make it a place they actually want to be at and work at. That's why it's important to be there for them. And, that's a whole different thing. But I would say try to find 1 to 2 coaches who can help you service, and have a manager who collects payments and does all that financial stuff for you. And you can make like a solid $20,000-30,000 a month doing that. Like, we were making like $30,000 a month with just me training people and 2 other guys training. So like, it could be lucrative in a manager. It was 4 of us, and we were making like I said, like 20-30, we were like doing $30K a month for sure. So don't hire too fast. I now have it's me, CEO. Then I have the GM, which is that manager I just talked about. She does a lot more. She does my sales, and she does all my sales and a lot of other stuff too. A lot of like small stuff that happens. But so it's me, the GM, and then I have my CSM, which is my customer success manager. So I have 2 managers, and she's actually a trainer too. So she's like a mix. She's an undercover trainer. And then I have my 3 fitness coaches, which is, I have 3 personal trainers that we hired. Okay, and they're all young, except one of them, he's like 26, I think, or 27. But anyways, they're all good coaches, and we pretty much got them to where they are. So like, that relationship equity is there. So that is those are the hires that I have currently, and we're doing like 650 plus a year right now, and we're for sure on our way to hit 700K. And the $1 million mark, I mean, that is my ultimate goal, to get the business to $1 million a year. But I'll be honest, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about doing $1 million a year for a gym, because the more money you make, the more overhead you take on, and sometimes it's almost better. Or $1 million is like $1 million in revenue is not $1 million of profit. I want to be very clear. So like, just know different revenues come with different problems. There's gym owners out there that I met who are doing $300,000 a year, but they're netting, they have 50% profit margin. So they're taking home 150. I know other gym owners who are doing 1.3, $1.4 million a year, only taking home 1% profit margins. You get what I'm saying? So they're taking the same amount of money home as somebody who's doing 300K a year, but all that fucking overhead, way more risk. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to see what you want to make. Don't just say, I want to make $1 million. I genuinely do want to make $1 million. I think we can get there, which is like $85,000 a month. I think we can absolutely do that. So that's my goal, okay? But hey man, that's all I got for now. If this video does well, it's super niche. This is for gym owners or people who want to open up a gym, then I'll make some more. But I could have probably put this together a little bit better for you guys. But like I said, this is just something that I feel like I wanted to speak on, and I want to switch up my content on my YouTube channel anyways. Guys, this is who I really am. I'm a businessman at heart, and I love fitness. This is who I am, and I love helping people. So all those vlogs you guys seen in the past, that was me with my boys. They're a little bit younger than I am, so that's when I'm having fun. And those still will come out from time to time, but this is what my life actually revolves around, is business. And I want to show you guys, the real behind the scenes, man, of running the gym business. And it's very difficult, but I think if you love business like I do, and I didn't love business in the beginning, guys. I was not a businessman at all. But over like the last 3 years, I've completely changed my mindset, and I fucking evolved. And big shout out to Alex Hormozy, man. He is forever gonna be, man. I'm so indebted to that guy, man. I learned so much from him, and he really showed me that, your passion, just because you don't love something doesn't mean it can't be your passion. You actually work so much on it that you grow into it. And now I have a fucking passion for business. So if you feel like, well, I'm not a businessman, bro, neither was I. Don't get caught up in that bullshit, because you become a businessman. No one's fucking born just want to do business. You know what I'm saying? It's you become that person, right? Out of necessity, out of urgency. Like when I signed this lease, I had no choice. I thought I was gonna do open gym access. Coming to find out, that wasn't working out for me. But anyways, guys, like I said, if you did watch this video and you got to the end, I hope this helps you guys out. Be careful when opening up a gym business. Make sure you pick what model you wanna do. Make sure your location is not too big. Make sure you don't hire too fast. And do not buy fucking equipment from the same places that these other gyms buy it from, because they're playing a different game. All right, guys? If you have any specific questions, shoot me a DM and I can help you out. I do coach. I have a personal trainer who's actually going to open up his own gym. We have a goal for him January 2026. January 2027, actually. So this is how serious we are. We have pinpointed goals that are more than a year out. I have his grand opening set for January 2027. And there's a lot of things that have to happen before that. So I do offer mentorship for people who want to open up gyms or even personal trainers, whatever. I can't help. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.